it wasn't that I didn't know how to move forward. It's just that I didn't have the faith. Hey guys, Jess here. Welcome back to my channel. Today we will be finishing up my 30-day self-isolation eye makeup challenge. See, that's why I stopped saying it, and I warned you guys about episode 12, which I will link here. Today we are not only finishing up the challenge, but I'm also sharing at least 10 things that I learned from doing this challenge. Also, if you are already part of the family and subscribed, thank you very much. And however, if you guys are not part of the family, then making sure that you subscribe and hit the bell as well. I'm not flipping the screen, just so I can just have that little block of text here. Watch, I'll just put it here. So, without further ado, I'm going to show you guys the last 16 looks of this challenge, and also be sharing with you as well what I learned. One of the first things I learned on a new level is how to communicate with people in the midst of me receiving criticism from them. I also learned how to graciously accept criticism. Let's be honest, if the criticism isn't constructive, then it can be difficult without learning how to accept it. But with this, I was already used to it going into the challenge. It just heightened my sense of being able to accept criticism. Number 2. Second thing I learned, and I have like a notebook here and another thing here. One of the second things I learned is that I had to let go of my ideal of how I used to do my makeup and what works for me. Like, for example, I don't want to touch base on this too much. I also had to update my eyebrow routine, because if you notice at the start of the episode, my eyebrows, I'm clocking myself. My eyebrows was darker, and it was just like almost off-putting. And I said, okay. I started looking at them myself, and I'm just like, oh, you need to change. After about, I don't even remember the episode, and I posted that in the Reddit makeup addiction group, and they made a comment on my eyebrow makeup, and so I didn't take it offensive. I just I assessed what they said, and I started looking back at everything, and I'm like, maybe it wouldn't hurt for me to try to adjust my eyebrow routine, because it'll make everything else balance out. And so I have eyebrow routine that I've updated a video as well. But that is the second thing, is that after I made the commitment to start the challenge, I wanted to quit most times, and I could not continue in my own strength. I'm not going to put a disclaimer, but and I am not religious. I'm in relationship with the Lord. I really had to rely on God to finish this challenge. When you start a challenge like this, anything 30-day, not just makeup. When you start anything 30 days if you start any challenge, let me say it like that, with the intention of your goal is to get better at something, whether it's external or internally, it's that you're already making the commitment. In order to continue the commitment, you're going to have to continue no matter how you feel. no matter if you just don't want to do it, because I woke up many days like, man, why did I start to get better at eye makeup? And then that wasn't my only goal. My other goal starting this challenge, I wanted to finish something I started, because in the past, it's like I've noticed a pattern in my life where you're not finishing what you start. What does that say about you? So I wanted to be able to complete that, to prove to myself, no one else. This wasn't about proving anything to anyone but myself, that I could finish what I start. It was going to take more effort to complete this than I assumed. So I went into this thinking, like, I'm just gonna batch record videos and I could just get this done within 2 weeks and get the 30 done, and just have them just spread out and just upload one after the other. That didn't happen, sis. That didn't happen, bruh. No. I really struggled, because once I got into it and once I got my feet wet, I am just sitting here like, what were you thinking? Several times. And I had to remind, why did you start? I want to break this pattern of not finishing things that I start. Basically, I overestimated myself, because you're not just recording 30 of them, you're editing them. There's 30 captions. That's doing SEO for all of them. That's a lot of work. Once I started to realize halfway in, this is a lot more work than I anticipated. I learned that I can apply myself and get something done and be productive. And it also highlighted, how can I put my words together? It also highlighted also how much more that I needed God to finish it. I already knew I needed him to finish it, but I realized a whole lot more that I can't do this in my own strength. I've literally found that out. Literally. I felt that. Okay? Literally. Like, what I got myself into. I learned to love, and I think this is one of the things that I learned that I kind of like, that I learned. I learned to love little parts of myself that I once ignored and overlooked, even physically. There was an episode I posted, and I was just wearing only gloss, because once I got into it, I'm just like, okay, in order to not distract from me doing my eye makeup, let me just adopt the rule of bold eye, neutral lip, bold lip, neutral eyes. I just was wearing nothing but gloss. When I posted on the Makeup Addiction group on Reddit, someone made a comment like, are you sure that you're only wearing gloss on your lips? And so, you know, at first it's just like, I didn't know how to take that. Let me just be honest. And then they also said, yeah, you have a very nice natural lip color. So while at first I didn't know how to take that comment, eventually it came with time. And I just said, oh, thank you. And then I started, from then on out, when I was doing the challenge, and I would get to the part where I would gloss my lips, and I'm like, I have a nice... It taught me to love a part of myself that I have overlooked, probably from the jump. Which leads me to the next thing I learned. It taught me how to graciously also accept compliments. Like, remember I said one of the first things I learned was I learned to graciously accept criticism. I also learned the opposite, to graciously accept the compliments. So it created a perfect balance for me to not let the compliments go to my head, but not let the criticism destroy my worth. Because after all, it's about makeup, but then this stuff started to go deeper beyond the surface. So there's that. I learned that in some instances, the looks that I wanted to execute, I may be getting the application wrong, especially my eyeliner. I'm heavy-handed, just like I'm heavy-handed with my hair products and my personal care products and my setting spray. You guys have seen that before. I didn't realize I was heavy-handed with my makeup as well. So that required me to adjust. I mean, it's something to be said for someone that knows that their way isn't working, but it's an even greater thing for a person to assess that maybe they need to try something different to get the result that they want, because what they're doing isn't working for them the way they want it to. I couldn't just quit because I felt like it, because I've had those moments before. Like, goodness, I'll just quit. Maybe they don't notice, especially after like the last episode before 14. Right as I said that, the counter on this recorder said 14. But for real, I once I got the support, it's like, okay, I got people watching me. Even on Makeup Addiction, it's like, it reminded me, this is another reason I need to keep going. I got people counting on me to finish. I said I was going to finish strong, and they said they look forward to seeing my posts. I'm like, that's all well and great, but I want to quit now. Like, what do I do? Like, really? And I could just quit because I wanted to. Because I had people sitting there waiting on me. They're like, oh man, I'm glad to see you doing this. Just like, I had more support than I thought I had. I just went into it thinking, okay, a couple people like it, but I didn't have more faith in myself, more faith in the Lord, to have faith in myself that I would have more support than I thought I would initially. So that's the next thing I learned as well. I also learned that I didn't have enough faith to continue like I thought I would. I thought I'm gonna just do this myself. Next thing you know, God threw me a curveball. Like, look, you can't do this without me. Okay? No, it took a lot more. Like, through every post I made, right down to every thumbnail I made, I really had to get with God, because sometimes I'd just be like, man, how do I continue? But then sometimes when I would continue, it would be hard to continue once I've planned things out. Like, what do I do now? You know, it wasn't that I didn't know how to move forward. It's just that I didn't have the faith.